Hello and welcome back to the channel, How We Move the Decimal. And I'm alive, I promise. Kind of, maybe. My voice is still not 100%. I will say many moons ago, I'm trying to figure out how long ago, middle of March. In the middle of March, I want to say like March 17th-ish, around St. Patrick's Day. Oh no, it was the 14th because my oldest had a musical performance. Thank you for following me down this rabbit hole. And my youngest got violently ill at the musical. And we thought, it's because she ate all the junk food from the concession stand. So that's why she got so sick. I'm like, yeah, she got so sick from that. No big deal. We don't have to worry about it. Well, we were wrong. I don't know if anyone has had the norovirus or has researched the norovirus, but what happens with the norovirus is you are violently ill. Really, really ill. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it's very disgusting. Violently ill. I got the norovirus and I was so violently ill, I ended up aspirating and I got pneumonia. So this is me almost an entire month later. I'm just now getting my voice back. I still cough. I still have to use a rescue inhaler periodically. And sometimes I still feel like someone is squeezing my chest. Some invisible giant has picked me up around my torso and is squeezing. So this is me after norovirus and pneumonia. It was a mess, and I was still working at the time. Ironically, I found out I had pneumonia because I had to go in and get a physical for my job. And I went in and got a physical, and my doctor refused to sign off on it. And she was like, you have pneumonia, right? And I was like, no, I don't think I had pneumonia. I'm not here because I have pneumonia. I'm here because I need you to sign off on a physical. And she refused to sign off the physical because I had pneumonia. She told me I had to treat the pneumonia, and then she would be okay with signing off on the physical. Upside, it was not viral pneumonia. It was bacterial pneumonia, and the antibiotics I took were amazing. They did great. I started feeling better. And mind you, this is better, so that tells you how bad I felt. I started feeling better. I was coughing stuff up. I was being productive, in quotes, as the doctor would say, very quickly after I started antibiotics. I want to say within the first 2 days. I was on antibiotics. I was on an expectorant. I was on breathing treatments. All of that for almost 2 weeks, so 10 days. And this is where we are at the moment. This is how I feel and sound. My voice is my paycheck, my bread and butter, so I have to keep talking. I talk the grand majority of the day, giving presentations and whatnot, so I am not just talking, I am projecting, which you can see how that could be very bad if you absolutely had no voice. The ladies I work with were starting to call me Rhonda because I sounded like I had smoked many packs of cigarettes. So my alter ego for several weeks was Rhonda. Rhonda's currently on vacation, and I'm starting to feel better. Finally, 2 weeks later. So I'm back here. That being said, it's going to be incredibly spotty on all my uploads for the next 2 months. I am out of town at the end of April with absolutely no internet service, no power, none of that. So I'll be out for an entire week. And then the end of the school year comes up very abruptly, so I can make no promises on any videos that are going to be uploaded. I'm trying, though. A for effort. I will say it's right around contract renewal time for me, too, so I will find out within the next 4 weeks. So anytime between now and the end of May, contract-wise, where I stand, I think I'm going to be losing 2 of my 5 contracts for the coming year, for the coming fiscal year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I might pick up another contract too. So I might lose 2, but pick up 1, so only really be down 1 contract. What does that mean? It means I will roughly, again, if I lose 1 contract, I'll roughly pick up 2 hours a day If I lose 2 contracts, I'll roughly pick up 4 hours a day of time in which I can work on eBay. Am I worried that I'm losing 1 to 2 contracts? Yes, those were my 2 highest paying contracts. So I will take a fiscal hit with this, a pretty decent one. I will say it has to do with funding, and where the funding is coming from, and possibility of having no funding next year. So no fault of my own. That's, 'tis the life of a contract employee in which our contracts renew yearly. And I know no fault of the institution or anything. Like, I have no ill will. This is just the nature of the job. And we kind of, those of us that are contract workers within the same organization, we kind of got a feeling about it mid-January. If we go back and remember what happened mid-January, we kind of got a feeling mid-January that there was going to be some severe budget cuts, and contract workers would be the first ones to be cut because we are not unionized. We are a right to work. So, they have to honor our contract to the end, but they don't have to renew our contract. And I think that's what I'm looking at for 2 of my contracts, is them just not getting renewed. Could I make up the money from those 2 contracts by selling on eBay? No. Short answer, no. No, I couldn't. Could I make up the money from those 2 contracts selling on Facebook Marketplace or any other place? No. I know people are like, man, I'm going to quit my job. I can make up the money for this. It's not that big of a deal. I'll figure this out. We'll make the money. No. Am I lucky that I could lose those 2 contracts and we'll still be stable? Yes. Will we be, we can eat and pay our bills? Okay. We will not be Disney World. We will probably have to cut down on some stuff. Mind you, that is, I could pick up contracts somewhere else with the time I have. Maybe I'll become a YouTube star. I'm going to say no because we're going on 4 years and I'm lucky to get 1,000 views on a video. I did go kind of viral once and I got around 15,000 on one of my videos, but that's not going to happen. This is a fun thing for me to do. This helps keep me motivated in listing on eBay. I'm not like most eBay sellers. I love to buy. Buying is fun. Buying is like hunting. I'm getting the best deal. I beat someone else on this deal, or maybe I outsmarted somebody and they didn't realize what they had. But listing sucks. They're like, wow, tell us how you really feel. No, listing does suck. But it's the nature of the beast. If you don't list it, you're a hoarder, and I don't want to be a hoarder. So my husband and I went through our death pile downstairs when I was feeling semi-better a couple weekends ago. Mind you, we had to do this for 2 reasons. One, we live in Tornado Alley, and we've already, as I'm recording this, it is April 8th. By the 8th of April, we have already had the tornado sirens go off 7 times. So that means, and it did start earlier for us. It started the second week of March. Have we had any tornadoes? No. Have we had really strong winds? Yes. Do we need to have the ability to get down into areas in our basement to take shelter? Yes. Are those areas currently full with eBay stuff? Yes. So that is a second motive. We want to be safe as a family, and moving those, making sure those areas in which we can seek shelter are clear. There's this. We are doing, if you just looked at the video, we are doing the very scientific, how much does this weigh, by moving the book up and down while holding it. That being said, after you've listed so many things on eBay, you kind of get a sixth sense about it. I may not be perfect, but I can tell you if it's under or over a pound. I can tell you, like, if it's reaching 5 pounds. I'm very good with the heavier weights. I'm not too good with the lighter weights. Heavy weights I can kind of mess around with and figure out. We just filed our taxes, which I love that eBay gives you a $10.99 now. You can download the reports for like how much you spent on shipping and all that stuff, which I do. because the 1099 does not take that into account. 1099 even counts what you get for shipping. So you have to go through when doing your taxes, you know, the cost of goods, shipping, all of that needs to be taken care of. That is not included in the 1099. I know some people look at the 1099 and be like, okay, I just enter the 1099 and I'm fine. You can do that. I mean, go team, I guess, if you don't want to go through and bookkeep and stuff. But if you do, you're probably going to pay more in taxes. I do our taxes. I use TurboTax, nothing too fancy. I hand bookkeep. I loved GoDaddy bookkeeping. Absolutely loved it. I tried to switch over to QuickBooks. I cannot stand QuickBooks. Sorry to anybody that has any loyalty to QuickBooks whatsoever. I cannot stand QuickBooks. So it was better for me just to create my own spreadsheets at that point and do it myself. And I found it way easier to do. I need to get better at doing it monthly. I was doing it quarterly, and then I'll double check myself and do a whole year one too. And you're like, that seems like so much work. Yes, but it's taxes. I don't want to get audited. I don't want to pay more in taxes. I really don't mess with taxes. My worst fear is like, you know, getting in trouble for like tax evasion or something. So because, you know, that's how the IRS catch a lot of white collar criminals and stuff. Not that I'm a white collar criminal, but I really don't mess with taxes. I'm very leery of taxes. I am very conservative when it comes to my taxes. I'm very conservative on what I take off. I know some people are like, do this and then you can write it off for your business. Do this and you can write it off for your business. I am incredibly leery of that. Yes, I can write off items I bought at rummage sales. Yes, I have a receipt book so I can write them down and I have the receipt for it. Do I like to do that? No, because it's just my word, and I'm worried if I got audited, then that would be an issue because it is literally just my word. Like, look, I wrote a receipt that I spent $70 on this rummage sale. So what I like to do, if I spend a lot, most of the time if I spend very little on a rummage sale, I don't even count it. I know I'm hurting myself there. I should count everything. I should count trips to the post office, all of that. I don't. I'm not perfect, but I'm not running a multi-$1,000 multi-industry here. It's minimum. But if it is a large buy, so let's say I spent, when I say large, anything over 20. I know large, that may not seem large, but anything over 20. If I make a buy over 20, I will write the receipt for it. I will take pictures of the items. I will specifically take pictures of them if they still have the price sticker on them. One, this is for my own bookkeeping. This is what I bought at this rummage sale so I can remember it. And two, I just use it for extra proof. I'm super paranoid. I'm a paranoid person. So I do that. Same with estate sales that don't offer receipts. And a lot of our estate sales, in-person estate sales, do not offer receipts around here. They're very much cash, not recording. And a lot of our estate sales also only take cash, which is kind of shady, not gonna lie. But I will use the receipts then to also do that. I was lucky enough, the big book buy I had in last February, I have messages going back and forth between me and the estate sale person that agreed on the price and stuff. So I have that as proof too, that we spent that much on there, and that was $80 for those books, which I still haven't gone through all of them. I did sell 2 more of them though this week, so they are selling slowly but surely. So thank you for semi-listening to me. I'm really hoping my voice gets better at some point. I'm going to have some videos from the Goodwill bins inside St. Louis coming out. Please like and subscribe and have a very productive day.